There is no evidence that the whole reparative therapy movement works at all. Even when I was back in the ex-gay world, even back then in the 80s, they were talking about, oh, you know, if we're going to get our word out, if we're going to get our ministry out to more people, we've got to sound more psychological. We've got to sound, you know, like we know what we're talking about. And they actually did a good job. And the crazy thing, we like to joke, religious abuse survivors and ex-gay survivors like to joke, reparative therapy is neither. It does not repair, and it is not therapy. There is no therapy that changes your sexuality from one to another. There is none. Even when every psychological and medical and educational program out there has looked at what they have put out and said, doesn't work. There's no evidence that it actually changes your sexuality. You can certainly change your behavior, right? We know plenty of people who might be attracted to guys, but they function as a heterosexual in a straight marriage. That doesn't mean that their attractions have changed. But you'll get a lot of bait and switch with the reparative therapy movement. You have to listen very carefully because, oh, well, I'm not in the lifestyle, therefore I'm not gay. But that doesn't really address their real attractions. That's a lifestyle as a behavior out there. So it can get very complicated. But the important thing you need to also keep in mind, I have never met a reparative therapist that's atheist. Think about that. They may sound very psychological, but every single one of them comes from a religious view that believes that gay people shouldn't exist in the first place. So you need to be very, very careful and do your homework when it comes to things like this, because it's not a psychological movement. In fact, many psychological organizations and in fact, whole countries and states have banned this practice because it's not therapy and it doesn't work. But there's always going to be a religious organization out there that's going to go, Jesus can do anything and he'll change you from gay to straight. Run away, run away. It's a religious thing. They believe that God only likes or only gives permission to heterosexuality. I call it heterosexual supremacy. That's what they truly believe. And you'll see their popularity go in waves. They really got a great start when the religious right was born in the early 80s, especially with AIDS, you know, and all that. They had all this, you know, money to back them. Oh, you don't have to get AIDS, you can become straight, you know, all that bullshit. But then it'll get popular, and then all the leaders get caught with their pants down, and then it goes into hiding for a while, and then it gets popular again. And even this last big wave of having states and organizations ban them, their motivation is to save everybody for Jesus. So they've gone to different countries. They're huge in Asia. They're huge in Africa. It just makes me, you know, it smacks of colonialism and, you know, missionary abuse of going to countries and indoctrinate. Oh, run away, run away. But you know, there's only so much our reach can go when they go to different countries. So really all it is a religious ministry that thinks that they know what God wants for you and your sexuality. And it's not true.